organ by the Moabits into the Sanctum Sanctorum. On the left hand side middle you see the Bad ceremony as we talked before, and lower left hand corner is the enthronement of the fire with the Moabits in front of it performing Atashniais, and then in the middle the boy ceremony with the pealing of the bells, and then on the right hand side my very good friend and another ex-student of Kama Tonan Institute, Moabit Kobat Jamshed, is performing a boy ceremony in the most beautiful North American Daremer in San Jose. And so now we are on 44, and we are talking about inner liturgical ceremonies of Yasna, Whispered, Vandidat, Baj. As I said, mentioned, this is only performed in the consecrated Daremers and in the Yazashnega, and only Baj ceremony can be performed anywhere in the world. We will not talk too much about all these details about the Yasna ceremony, and so this is just we will just pass through, and then we talk about what is involved in Yasna, Whisper and Vandidat ceremony. Yasna ceremony requires 72 hours recital. When I became a Moabit, I had to learn it by heart and perform that by heart when we perform the Yasna ceremony. Whispered ceremony contains not only 72 Yasna hours but 23 kardas of whispered, and it is performed in a very specific time, for example during the Gambar time and during the Geti Kharid ceremony we talked a little bit before. And the Vandidat ceremony is the combination of 72 Yasna hours, 23 whispered hours, plus 22 Fargards of Vandidat, and the Vandidat Fargarad are recited by reading from the book, which is a huge book. We call it Vandidat no Potho. And so this is the three major ceremonies. We cannot perform it in North America in the true sense, but we can always have their recital. So now we come to a point where I would like to put a plug for a North American Moabit Council seminar available. It is called Journey Through Zoroastrian Scriptures. It is given by 4 distinguished priests, and you can request that if your association wants it. It is a whole day affair, and if you are interested, please let me know. This has been given to the Association of Houston, of Washington DC, of Toronto, and of Philadelphia. Now we come to the Bad ceremony, and for that the best thing I can recommend you is to have this book, which is written very recently by Ervad Dr. Ramya Karanja, the principal of the Dadar Institute, and it is an excellent book on Baj, and I highly recommend that. Baj is the shortest of the Pav Mehel ceremonies. It takes about 20 minutes to an experienced Moabit, 30-40 minutes to Moabits like me when I perform that into Dallas inauguration of Tereme. So now we come to the Afringan, Faroksi and Satum. The Afringan ceremony is really a ceremony we perform here all the time with basically 2 Moabits if available, but in many times in North America we only do it by 1 Moabit due to the problem of obtaining another one. It has 3 parts: the introduction called Dibache, the Afringan proper for the years that we are performing it, like Dada Ormers, and then Ardafarvash and so on. And then it always followed with the 3 Afrins. There are 8 Afrins actually total, but we perform 3 Afrins in regular Jashan, number 3 Ardafarvash, number 4 Buzurg, and number 7 Hamkara or Damman. During the Gambar ceremonies we perform the Gambar Afrin, which is number 1. The Afringan ritual requisites are, the fruit and flower, wine, etc., arrangements of the flowers and the flower ceremony, and then 4 direction pointing, and the Hamazur after each Afringan, and then Ashodat, that is covered, we will cover later on. The Farokshi actually is either prayed side by side of an Afringan or after the Afringan. If you go to some of your ceremonies of your departed loved ones in a gyari of Bombay or anywhere, they have 2 Mohabbets performing Afringan and maybe third Mohabbat of performing Farokshi side by side. If not, then the same person who perform Afringan after it will sit down and do the Farokshi prayer. Satum is always followed afterwards. Satum is really a meal which we are offering to the departed one Farohar, and so this is performed afterwards. The Satum again is a general hymn of praise for the dead. The outer liturgical ceremonies combined with Nirangdin, Hamayars, Geti Kharid, we discussed this before. Just to mention quickly, the Nirangdin to consecrate bull's urine and water, Hamayars 144 Yasnan Vandida, Geti Kharid is to perform good deeds here when living, so it is help when you're dead. Sarosh is the day, the 4-day ceremony of the departed one. Zinderavan is for living 4 days of Sarosh ceremony. Gambar, we talked about that. Gambar is actually originally an agriculture and seasonal thing, and this was enjoined by the Dada Hormazda to say to Zarathustra that each Zoroastrian should speak the truth and also participate in the Gambar ceremony. And the 6th Gambar actually is for the 6 major, the Dada Ormers created the world in 6 different stages, and this is to celebrate the creation of the 6 stages, like the sky, the water, the men, and so on. The Gambars are quite well known now, becoming in North America. It is always an important celebration in Iran. So the Gambar also is the ceremony as well as a solemn feast, and people were very much involved, and all the Gambars are open to the whole public. In fact, the Jijibai Darabai started a custom of having a fun for Gambar in Bombay in 1800s, and then he also extended that to certain villages like Navsari, Surat and Bharuch, and these are religiously performed 6 times a year, and they have a huge feast for people, like 2,000 to 3,000 people are fed for the religious feast up there. The Jashan we talked about, it is for either the festival of seasons or in the memory of the dead or to celebrate a historical event. We do this quite often in North America, and we'll discuss that later on. If you want to know about details of Jashan ceremony, again, the same 2 North American Moabit Council